Lesson 2.3. Title of this lesson on page 121 is Subtraction with Negative Numbers. The way this book teaches it, and the way I'm going to go ahead and teach this, is we're not going to subtract. Subtracting is not one of the more pleasant operations. What we're going to do is we're going to take our subtraction problems and change them to addition problems, and then we can follow the rules that we already know for addition that we did in the last lesson, lesson 2.2. So, for example, first of all, let's look at how we're going to come about and do that. If we have a subtraction problem, we're going to get 5 minus 2 is 3. Let's say that we turn this into an addition problem instead. So rather than saying 5 minus 2 is 3, every time we see a minus sign, we change it to a plus. But we can't just take that minus sign out. We have to leave it there, but let's put it on the 2 instead. Okay? So now instead of 5 minus 2, we have 5 plus negative 2. Okay, well, we know how to do addition. We know that if we have two numbers that are added together and the signs are different, we take the difference between the two numbers, difference between 5 and 2 is 3, and put the sign of the larger number on the answer. Get the same answer. Okay, you may look at this and say, oh, well, 5 minus 2, why do I have to change it to 5 plus negative 2? I can figure that out in my head. Later on, you won't be able to figure out some of the equations in your head so easily, so it helps to follow this format and get used to it so that when you come to some of those more difficult ones, you can do those without any problem. For example, here's one that's a little bit sketchy. Negative 7 minus 2. Okay, so is this negative 5, positive 5, because I have two negatives, negative 9, I mean, there's all kinds of different issues involved here. But if we change it to a plus and addition problem, it takes away those issues. Okay? According to the rule, addition, signs are the same. We add the numbers up and put the common sign on the answer. There's no question of, what do I do here? Which way do I go? Follow that rule and you're good to go. Alright, let's do a couple more examples here as we're going. Let's take a negative 10 minus 5. Same thing. Negative 10 plus negative 5 should be your first step. Signs are the same. We add them together, put the sign on there, and we're done. Alright, just doing some examples here in 122. 12 minus the quantity, negative 6. Alright, if you remember, when I said we had two negatives side by side with no number, no sign, no nothing in there, parentheses are okay, and because it's even, we count the number of negative signs. If it's even, it automatically churns into a plus sign. The negatives erase. Actually, the way some students have done it is they've taken this and put it here and just kind of have your two signs flip to a plus sign and get 18 for an answer. Alright, so let's say that we continue on with a couple of those ideas and do this. So I not only have negatives, but I have them together. So first step then would be to change these two to a plus. Now I've got two numbers added together. One sign's different, so I take the difference between the two, put the sign of the largest number on my answer, and I'm done. Alright, well, let's start combining some things a little bit. Negative 3 plus 6 minus 2. Alright, remember PEMDAS. You do everything from left to right. So in this case, write it up here again. I should just permanently put that up there. I've got my addition and my subtraction from left to right. Alright, so I'm going from left to right. I'm going to start out with these two guys. Negative 3 plus 6. Opposite, there's different signs here, so you're going to take the difference, sign of the largest number, and is a 3, and I got to continue with my 2. So now I've got 3 minus 2. You can do that one in your head and get 1, or you can rewrite it as, get used to that there. Difference between the two is 1, sign of the largest on there, and you get 1. Alright, what if we continue on with our examples number 8? And follow the same pattern here. We go from left to right. These two automatically turn into a positive. So now we have 10 plus 4 minus 8. We add these two, subtract 8, and we end up with 6. Now, look at this. If we did not follow our left to right, we'd get 4 minus 8, which is negative 4, and then you've got 10 plus negative 4. So you're still going to end up with your 6, but now you've got more work to do. So go from left to right. Makes life better for you. Just look at example number 10 for a minute. It says subtract negative 4 from 9. That's one of those tricky verbal ways of confusing you. It's not saying negative 4 minus 9. It's saying subtract negative 4 from 9. Take 1/4 from the 4 that you have. So you would take 4 minus 1. So just some verbiage there for you to be aware of. Since we have time, let's just jump to page 125 and do the problem set. Grab a few of these problems here. 1 through 28 we've pretty much done in the examples. 33 to 46 we've also done, but let's take one like 46 and put that up here. Not because it's hard, but because it's always good to just keep reviewing this stuff. Alright, so we're going to go through here, do our left to right. We're going to start out with here, addition, different signs, difference between the two, and the sign of the largest number. Then we've got the negative minus negative 200, and remember, two negatives give me a positive, so we just have 300 plus 200 equals my 500, and I'm done. That's about as hard as it gets in the problem set that they gave you there. Applying the concepts, if you look at those, you've got some different graphs, some different story problems there. Just trying to look here and see if there's any that are a little bit difficult. Look at 64 on page 127. On Monday, the temperature reached a high of 28 degrees above zero. So 28 degrees above, so that's positive. That night it dropped to 16 below zero. So 16 below zero, and we've got our 0 in between here. What is the difference between the high and the low temperatures for Monday? So the difference between those. So 28 degrees is the high, and the difference means we're subtracting negative 16 degrees. Put parentheses around that. So our high was 28, our low is negative 16. What's the difference between those two? 28 minus negative 16. Again, two negatives together, we're going to add those, and that gives us 28 plus 16, which 28, 38, 44. So there was a 44 degree difference between negative 16 and 28 degrees. So that's pretty much it for problem set 2.3. So you're ready for homework and jumping up to 2.4.